Hi ET605. This is a quick little demonstration on how to use the program Reflector in your classrooms and how to mirror your devices such as an iPad or your iPhone or a tablet onto your computers to be able to have it projected so your students can see what you're doing on your iPad or your iPhone or what other students are doing with those devices. Rather than putting it under the document camera and projecting it that way, you can actually have your iPad live project onto your computer, which in turn you can project onto your LCD screen. So I can't actually do this at Loyola's campus, so that's why I'm making this video. Loyola's campus networking is a little more complicated and it doesn't seem to like the Reflector 2 app. However, the application does work very well at my school, in my school's networking system, and it also works very well in my home. The key thing that you need to be able to do is connect your Wi-Fi and have your iPad or your iPhone or whatever your device is that you're using connected to the same Wi-Fi internet as your computer. And that's what allows it to work. So I was just going to give you a quick little demonstration. I'm showing you on the Mac side because that's what I have on my computer. It's very similar on the PC side. Plus, if you look under Class 9 Agenda, there's some information on here of how to set it up using Windows that you have for your school computers. So the first thing you need to do is make sure your computer obviously is connected to Wi-Fi, and then you want to open up the app. The newer edition of the app is called Reflector 2, and I actually had to download the newer version. And this app is $14.99. It's not like an app for your iPad, but what it is it is a it's $14.99 for the license. However, when I bought this previously, I only had to buy it once and I could use it for years and years, and it was fantastic. The newest upgrade, I mean, they haven't upgraded it in about 3 or 4 years, but it was a great tool to use, and you can use it all the time in your classrooms, and I'll show you some ways to do that. So now that we've opened the app, we know we have it open because up at the top or wherever your programs are, it will show that it's open. And all you need to do, which you'll be able to see in a second, is if you're using an iPad, for instance, which I'm using, you would have to pull up from the bottom to find your little toolbar where your music is or where you set your device onto airplane mode or your Bluetooth connection is. And you need to find the little button, which you'll be able to see in a second, that's called AirPlay. And what that will do, since this app is open, you'll see it say your device that you're using plus the device you can connect it to. So I'm going to click on it, and mine should pop up in a second, which you'll be able to see now. And notice not only does it say iPad, but now that I'm connected, it will show you my computer's name, and I want to make sure that the green is selected for mirroring. And what that allows is for everything now that I do on my iPad, I can project onto my computer like you're seeing right now. And it's really awesome to be able to use if you're showing a demonstration for how you want your students to use things. If you're using a whiteboard app like EduCreations or Show Me, which we'll talk about later in the semester, you can, and I don't want to actually use this one, but you can have your students, instead of like having whiteboards on their own, if you have maybe a set of like 3 or 4 iPads, you could have your students project all of their devices at the same time and write their responses and have it projected, which is pretty neat. You could also, if you were teaching your students how to maybe set up or log into Google Drive, or how to search on YouTube, or find something on dictionary.com, or if I was giving my students a tutorial on how to use QR codes, I could go through and actually create a video for that, which is pretty neat. So you can project this way. The other cool thing is that for some magical reason, which I don't know how to explain, it also projects sound directly to your computer. So right now, say I have Brain Pop open on my iPad, I could hit play, and what it will do is the music and the sounds are actually coming through my computer right now. They're not even playing on the iPad. They're going into
Dear
my
Tim and
computer, which is
Who
just
was Charles
fascinating on
Darwin?
my part. I
Yours
think it's a
very
really cool
sincerely,
feature that
Helen.
I can't exactly explain, but it's pretty cool. And another cool feature of this program is that you can make screen recordings. So this is a newer feature. So you can, if you click this button that's record, what you can actually do is make a screen recording, not like what we're doing right now where I have my whole computer screen, but this is actually just making a recording of what's happening on my iPad. So if I say wanted to open up a document and show my students how this is how you should set up your paper. Oh, and of course it's read only, so I can sign in. But that's an example of how you can do this. And then when I'm done, I can hit stop, and it will finish the recording. And then what it will actually do is it'll pop up on my computer. This isn't on my iPad. It'll pop up, okay, you can save this file, and I'll just hit iPad demo, save it wherever I want to save it, and click save. And then right now, if I go to my desktop, if I open up my Finder, and I go to my desktop, I can open up that video, which is right here, and it's a screen recording of what I was doing on my iPad. It doesn't have sound, but it is a way of creating a demonstration for your students, which would be a pretty cool tool to be able to use if you were having them use devices and you wanted to show them a demonstration of it. Another one that you could use, another thing that you can do with the Reflector is you can actually change some things about it. So you'll notice if you're on PC, there are a couple features. When you're on, when you're on Mac, there are a couple different features. You can change the skin of what the iPad looks like. So if I wanted it to be a white iPad, I can make it that way. If I wanted it to be have no frame, I could take away the frame. If I wanted it to have the airspace gray, you can make it look exactly like it. You can also hide it for a short minute. Like right now, we actually have the QuickTime video up. So it looks like that it's still open. But if I go back in the app and right now it's hidden, I pop it back up, I can easily see that, which is kind of awesome. I think it's a great tool to be able to use in the classroom for many different reasons. Instead of just, having one iPad that you have to pass around the classroom, now if you needed to pass it around the classroom, all of your students could see projected onto the screen what is happening, and most of your students are fascinated by this. There's also an article that I put on the agenda of how to use it in the classroom on tips and demonstrations for that. You can also make it full screen if you wanted, which I meant to show you earlier, but you can also make it full screen if necessary and you wanted to block out everything else. But this is a really cool application to be able to use on your computer. Again, it's called Reflector 2. You have to make sure that your device is set up on the AirPlay if you're using an iPad or an iPhone. And you can also project two devices at the same time, which is another way that you can do this. So I'm going to show you real quick. If I project my phone, like I can easily that quickly show you my phone and project what's going on with my phone, and you could have that happen with some of your students as well, and I could block it or hide it in any certain way, and you allow your devices to be able to be entered. You can block certain devices too, so your kids can't just automatically connect. You could set it so that way they have to have a passcode to go there as well. So if you have any questions about Reflector, try it out at your own school. You can download the 7-day trial, but this is a really cool feature that you can use if you're using iPads or if you're using, your students have devices that they can use in the classroom. This is a way to be able to share them and show them how to work things. Enjoy!